Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson and I'm back again today with another 13 trades. Today's date is December the 3rd, and on this day we have high impact news. It's non-farm payroll, and I am using my new Trigger Zones trading system. I've nicknamed the Trigger Zones the Holy Grail trading system, as it contains what I would call a magic indicator. This one right here, Trigger Zones, TZ for short. It really helps to pinpoint the buy and sell entry points. Now I know there's no such thing as a Holy Grail trading system and a magic indicator, but what would you call a system that's producing 200 or more pips day in and day out? Now we can take a look at the calendar at Forex Factory on this day, Friday, December the 3rd at 8:30 a.m. We have non-farm payroll here. These two right here are negative, which means we're selling the USD, and the unemployment rate is positive, which means we're buying. That tells me that there's a very good chance that price will just move up and down. And of course, on the CAD dollar, they're both green, so we're buying it. The employment change and the unemployment rate. Now, all of the trades that I took today here were directly taken from my daily trade plan. Let's take a look at that for today. Here it is, daily trade plan for December the 3rd. Each and every one of these trades, I predicted whether it's going to go up or down by saying watch for bearish or bullish trades. Some of them were even preferred. Now, it doesn't mean that absolutely everything is guaranteed to work, as the market is very random, and it could go in the opposite direction if it's hitting strong enough support or resistance. But nonetheless, today worked out great, trading prior to non-farm payroll and taking the trades directly from my daily trade plan. I'm sure at this point you'd be wishing you had a daily trade plan, and if you're not producing one exactly like, well, it has to be similar to this, as you have to be checking the higher time frames and going in that direction. And I'm very sure that at least 95% of the traders out there are not doing a daily trade plan. And then you wonder why 95% of the traders are failing. They don't know which way to go. They just take a trade on feelings. Well, much better to be going in the direction of the higher time frames. If you don't know how to put one of these together, well, you can get mine. I only charge $100 a month for that. If you do one trade, you can make easily $100 or more dollars. So moving right along, let's go through these pairs. The pound yen, here we go. After I drilled down the lights, I knew I wanted to be selling. There's the arrow. Now remember, the non-farm payroll kicked in right on this red candle. Okay, let's see where I got in at. Now after this little bit of jumping around, which I knew that there was a possibility for that to happen. But once it's finished, and if I would have stayed in the trade, I would have made a lot more. Look at that, almost 90 pips. But I was happy at this point. Looks like with 11 pips. And remember, when I'm happy, it's usually 100 or more pips. And over the past couple of months, I am definitely getting more than 200 pips. And taking a quick guess on this, I'm looking at about 400 pips for today. But lately, for the last couple of months, I've been getting 200 minimum or more pips on a daily basis. Anyhow, that's 11 pips, and 11 pips on the pound yen paid $1,058. Let's move on to the next trade, the Euro New Zealand. This one I bought it. Let's see where I got in at. Higher time frames was telling me to buy, but it decided to do this one more cycle. That's the way the market moves, but the higher time frames, and if you check on my daily time frame, I knew that when it was done this cycle here, it was going to continue with the higher time frames, and it looks like at this point I ended up with 19 pips, and 19 pips on the Euro New Zealand paid $1,282. Remember, when you're trading around very high impact news like non-farm payroll, a 10 or 20 pips stop will not hold. But as long as you're going in the direction of the higher time frames, 95% of the time the market will just resume the trend from in the direction of the higher time frames. Pound New Zealand. Let's see, Pound New Zealand. This one I bought it. There's the TZ working its way down. Now I jumped the gun. Well, let's see, first of all. Actually, TZ worked its way down, and I should have got in around here. But I pulled the trigger here. That's when I saw the trade. Non-farm payroll came in. It jumped around as I was expecting that. And then, of course, I closed out the trade. Looks like with around 20 pips. And 20 pips on the Pound New Zealand paid $1,352. Okay, let's check out the Euro Dollar. Here we go. It's at the right-hand edge here. There's the arrow, higher time frames telling me to sell. I sold it. Let's see where I got in at. And again, of course, just prior to the news, didn't bother me. Took the trade. I knew it was going to go back in the direction of the higher time frames. And there we go. Looks like I locked in about, should be 14. So 14 pips, because it pays $10 a pip. That ended up paying out $1,400. Moving along to the Euro Ozzy. Take a look at that. Here we go. I bought it. Took the trade. Now I took these trades at various times today because I was waiting for charts and things to line up, and even though I didn't get everyone perfect, and if I don't get it perfect, well, and then I just have to hang around and wait. Euro Aussie. Let's see where I got in at. This is exactly what I mean. It decided to do another little cycle. Not a big deal. Took the trade here. Could have made a lot more, but I was happy when I closed the trade. And looks like I closed the trade with 20 pips. And 20 pips on the Euro Aussie paid $1,476. Moving on to the next trade, the Pound Aussie. I bought this one. There's the arrow, higher time frames. You can check on the daily trade plan. Here it is right here. I'm not going to show you for each and every one, but look at this. The 4 highest time frames are up, so obviously we're buying. So there's the arrow. I bought it. Let's see where I got in at. Non-farm payroll came in. I was expecting this. So I just hung around. I was patient, and I closed it out being happy as it was bouncing around at resistance, locking in about 22 pips, and 22 pips on the Pound Aussie trade paid $1,546. Moving on to another pound trade, the Pound Swiss. Now this one, higher time frames was saying to sell, so that's what I did. Here we go. Waited for the TZ going up. got in at this position right here as it was dropping, and I could have got a lot more, but hit this area of support, and I was very happy at the time when I closed it. Looks like I closed it with 16 pips, and those 16 pips on pound Swiss paid $1,848. Remember this magic indicator, the TZ, it really pinpoints the entry. Look at that. When I pull the trigger, bang, right on. Everything. Don't you just love my Trigger Zones trading system? Holy grail. What more could you ask for? Anyhow, next trade, Euro Yen. Let's move to the right here because that's where it is. This particular one did a bit of jumping around. Euro Yen, I sold it. Let's see where I got in at. It could have easily just kept tanking, but decided to do, along with the non-farm payroll, news came out. But I knew that once it stabilizes, it would hook around and keep going in the direction of the higher time frames. Looks like I locked in about 22 pips, and 22 pips on the Euro Yen paid $2,030. Moving on to the next trade, pound dollar. Here we go. We sold it. This was non-farm payroll. Once I saw this upside down hammer, I knew the market was going to continue with the higher time frames. So I pulled the trigger here, just hung around, waited till the news stabilized. Could have locked in a lot more pips, but again, I was happy with 24 pips. And 24 pips on the pound dollar paid $2,400. Remember, pound dollar, if it has the USD in it, it pays $10 a pip. Now we're getting into the instruments that actually produce real money, like gold. You want to make some good money? Well, trade these. You're going to love it. But if you freak out doing just the pound pairs, well, you're going to really struggle with these. Gold pays $10 a pip, and it does a lot of jumping around. Look at this. So, what can you do? And by the way, gold is affected by the US dollar, and non-farm payroll kicked in. Look at all this jumping around. But anyhow, I wasn't too worried about it. I was hoping it was going to break the bottom and give me a lot more, but it didn't do that. I didn't worry about it. I finally closed it out just being happy with 34 pips, and 34 pips times $10 times 10 lots ended up paying $3,430. Let's move on to crude oil. Another one that pays $10 a pip. I sold it. Let's see where I got in at. Decided to do this one more cycle, which I could have traded it up and then sell it. Sell signals right here, by the way, and here. But anyhow, I originally just sold it. And let's see how many pips I got. Or ticks, whatever you want to call it. Should be 40. There it is, 40 right there. Each pip is $10. So 40 pips or ticks paid out $4,000. Let's move on to silver. Be very careful with silver as it pays $50 a pip. Okay, so I took this trade actually at 648 and I closed it out at 1043. Had the let's see, silver. Let's go and get silver first. And look at all this jumping around. So if you're the type of trader who's going to freak out looking at the money, well, you're going to have a freaked out day. But look at this. Higher time frames kicked in like magic. Don't you just love my daily trade plan? Look at silver. All the higher time frames down. It's a no-brainer. Watch for bearish trade. Remember, if you don't have a daily trade plan, you are more than likely failing. I'm 99% sure. Anyhow, you better start making one. And if you don't know how to make one, well, it takes me about 20 hours to put that together each month. It takes me up to an hour to do that. It's not the easiest thing to do, but once you know how to do it, it's going to work like a charm. Let's see. This one here, I have to get it pretty accurate. Let's see. Right about there. Could be 10. Yeah, it has to be 10 now that I'm thinking about it. $50 a pip times 10 lots. Well, you can do the math just as easy as I can. So, 10 pips paid out on silver, $5,000. Remember, doesn't have to move a lot, but it pays a lot. Okay, moving on to the last trade. Russell, which pays $10 a pip. Sold it. There's the arrow. Directly from my daily trade plan. Did a little move up, and finally higher time frames kicked in. And I could have made a lot more, but I'm very happy with the totals. Let's see now. Russell, that would be about, 135, 136 actually. Has to be 136. So 136 pips times $10 times 10 lots, 136. $13,600 it paid. Fantastic. So it turned out to be another great day of trading, a great way to end this week. And I just calculated everything here, all the pips and the ticks. And I remember saying it's going to be it's going to be at least 400 pips, and turned out to be 490 pips. And those 490 pips paid $40,425. So if your system is not producing on a daily basis like my trigger zones, well, guess what? I suggest you get your hands on it. And to do so, all you have to do is look right below this video. You'll see my trigger zone system. I do charge $250 for it. I teach how to trade the flow of the market, and this magic indicator helps a lot. Let's see now. My system has 5 gigabytes of training, and you'll get an exact copy of my system on your MT4 template platform. Remember, works on MT4 platform, not MT5. Comes with 6 MT4 templates, 9 custom indicators, and my favorite meter. Threw in a lot of PDF books, a lot of Word documents, and 9 bonus videos. This is just all bonus, which will increase your definitely help you to move forward and learn how to trade the markets. Now, there's a lot of ways to trade. I do teach a lot of ways to trade. My number one way, of course, is a great way to trade right here. Now, that is the main reason why I've done a lot of videos. There's 50 training videos. Now, I'm not going to go through each and every way here that I teach. Just put it on pause as we're running short of time. If you have any questions, pick up the phone and call me. Here's my number. And now, if you live too far, very simple. All you got to do is send me an email. Remember, there's an underscore right here. Now, I really do prefer Skype. Made it simple for you. All you got to do is click on this button. Then we'll have Skype connection, and through Skype screen sharing, I'll give you a free session and answer your questions, give you some tips and tricks. And if nothing else, it'll certainly help your trading. And of course, please keep in mind that there's no obligation to you. Now, of course, if you click on this link right here, you'll see 35 screenshots of all the trigger systems I've been building over the years. So anyhow, time to wrap up this video. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until the next trading day and video, which will be either Sunday night, more than likely Monday morning. And I want to wish you good luck with your trading, and remember to keep yourself and your family safe. Okay, bye for now.